is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Hangin with Cowboys.
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, and Shannon Gross.
Tuesday, and I really was not looking forward to coming back to this show and talking to you knuckleheads about football.
You had to come back to work, huh?
Yeah, that too. But man, did some news yesterday make me excited about coming on this show. Poor Bryce Butler.
That's what you take out of this? Poor Bryce Butler?
No, I take a lot more, but I just feel bad for Bryce. We'll get to that in a minute. How you doing, Nate? All right, good. Kurt, how you doing?
Doing good.
This dude didn't even open up. It didn't even open up our show right, man.
How was I supposed to open it?
Okay. First, you're supposed to give us your whatever Monday or Tuesday. You know the hollering that you do, the excitement that you bring. You know, and then we supposed to go like not even wasting time talking about two things.
What are those two things, Nate?
Brother Bill, and Brother Amari.
All right.
Okay, can we start over?
Yeah, let's start over.
Start over, man.
Tuesday live.
Is a production
Here
of
we go.
DallasCowboys.com.
Yeah,
and
here
the
we go.
Dallas Cowboys Football
Here we go.
Club.
Here we go.
Them Cowboys.
Hangin with Cowboys.
Blowing out of the backfield.
Yes, sir. He rolling. He doing it.
This is Hangin' with
With
the
the
Boys,
Boys.
broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
It's you. Let's
Now,
go.
your
Let's go,
hosts,
Bob.
Nate Newton, Kurt
Let's go,
Daniels,
Bob.
and
I know he's
Shannon
finna
Gross.
bring it. He's finna bring it.
Terrific Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Live from the Star in Frisco.
Glad to have you back, Shannon.
All right, it's good to be back. And it's good to be back with our special guest. Welcome to the show, the president of Dallas Cowboys Merchandising, Bill Parcells.
Glad to have you, Bill.
Great to be here.
So,
Yeah.
Bill, when we scheduled you last week, we got a list of NFLPA player sales list, and we have two guys in the top 10. And we thought it'd be awesome to bring you on the show. And then yesterday, some news came out that
Right.
trumped you a little bit. But we're going to get to that in a minute because I want to
Yes.
get your thoughts on that too. But, Bill, you have been with the organization. I've got to thank Bill. He gave me my start in this
That's
wonderful
right. You were a
organization.
merchandise
You're
guy
welcome.
originally, weren't you?
I was in merchandising.
welcome.
Started off in a pro shop and
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
started off in a pro shop, and then Bill was courteous enough to let me be his second choice to run the e-com business. He let me know right up front I wasn't the first choice. And that first choice fell through, and then I did e-com for about 7 years. And before I
So
moved
what's
over to
econ?
construction.
Go a little econ. What is it?
Yeah, Bill, what is e-com? I'll let Bill
Well, we just on DallasCowboys.com where we sell our product, and Shannon kind of ran that for a long time, kind
Okay.
of deciding what went on, and he was really good at it. I was shocked at how skilled he was.
Yeah, me too.
Actually impressed. Wow. Since he'd never done it before.
Yeah.
So you've been with the team for, what, about 20 years now, close to it?
This will be my 23rd season. This is- I'm in my
23.
23, yep.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the backstory of how you got here and why, and kind of the opt-out piece.
Well, you go back to the mid '90s, and Jerry was, ever since he bought the team, was speaking about merchandising and our rights, and always how to accelerate and how to grow the pie. And the Cowboys were a significant part of the NFL's business, but we only got 1/32 of the revenue because it was sort of all for one and one for all, and he kind of put it all in there, so we would get as much back as you would if you were the Redskins or anyone else. So it was a kind of a collective group. Well, that without going into too much legalese, that actually had an expiration in 2002, and we negotiated with that time our on-field partner was Reebok, and Mr. Goodell at that time was the chief operating officer of the league, and we negotiated kind of a triangle to let us do our own and to manufacture our own as long as we continued to share and make the other ownership whole. And it allowed us to go off and do our own. So, the theory is that like a Just Do It T-shirt, there's no real Cowboys DNA. That's Nike's DNA. And Just Do It Tallahassee, Just Do It Slippery Rock, Just Do It Razorbacks, Just Do It whomever. There's not a lot of DNA to that. And we thought we really wanted to build merchandise for the Cowboys fan. And since we were at every game and all of our employees were fans. We were all part of it. The family had such great direction that you just said, we're going to build merchandise for the Cowboys fan. What works for us might not be what's great for a Packer, but that's the way we kind of started it all off back in 2002.
Very cool. And then tell us a little bit about kind of the evolution and some other things that kind of how that's evolved just from Cowboys and now kind of what your whole world is.
Well, once you kind of built the infrastructure, and we have a 400,000 square foot warehouse, and as we kept growing and growing, once you establish the fact that you could do this pretty good for the Cowboys, and we're still the only team in the world that does this, which is still kind of a big point for us that we're very proud of, is that no one has followed, no NFL team, no baseball team, no soccer team, nowhere in the world does a team manufacture for their fans exclusively by us. And so once we kind of built that infrastructure, we said we could do this for other teams, and we ended up our first venture was with the University of Southern California, and we sort of presented it to them, and at that time the athletic director was Pat Hayden, the great Pat Hayden, and Pat was like, I want to be the first college team to ever do this as well. We want you to do it for us. And so we got them, and then we started dealing with IndyCar and UFC and all kinds of different brands, One World Trade Center with our partners with the Legends. And then about 4 years ago, we picked up the University of Texas. So we do everything for USC, University of Texas, and the Cowboys. So those are kind of our IndyCar and UFC. Those are kind of our big guys.
So not Snake, but our boss. Derek Eagleton, he happy.
Very nice.
There's a backstory there.
Yeah,
He's a Texas kid.
And I'm surprised that he didn't come in, but since you got his university, on a contract. But now, how did you get into the mixture? Where did you come from to get into this? That's what I need to know.
Okay. I was actually Stephen Jones and I are fraternity brothers from the University of Arkansas. And Shai Anderson, Charlotte's husband, is also a fraternity brother. And they were going through the whole Nike kind of Pepsi-Nike lawsuit, crazy bing, bang, and forth. And we really didn't have anybody on staff that was an expert in licensing, merchandising, whatever. Not that I'm an expert, but I think I was the only one that they knew that they could trust, that they knew something about this industry. So I came from Dillard's. I was working in Nashville, Tennessee, and Shai Anderson said, you should call Bill, and or Billy, as they know me. Right. And they called me, and I came to Dallas, and it was just a great fit.
Yeah, man. Married, not married, family?
I'm married. I have 2 kids, one at the University of Alabama who continually texts me. It tells me how weak the Razorbacks are, and pretty much anyone else in college football. And my daughter goes to Ole Miss, and my wife, Reagan.
Okay, now.
And wait, you left one member out.
Do you know?
What's that?
The little.
Yeah, I also have a lot of animals. We have a horse, we have 4 dogs, we have a cat, but we also have a pet pig named Razor.
Okay, now.
Pet pig named
Before
Razor. Nice.
animals got put before this guy, do you know Kurt? Kurt, do you have any?
See, they do this every time. They talk all the time, and I maybe get a word in.
Kurt's our silent partner on the show. We have to insert him into conversation.
I'm just amazed that this. We kind of asked you to come on because the NFLPA recently released jersey sales, and Dak was number 2 and Zeke is number 4. That still kind of amazes me. Those aren't big to me. They're still not marquee players, but because they play for the Cowboys, I guess that trumps all.
Well, you would have to say that is the only reason. I mean, number one, but what is actually even more exceptional than that was 2 years ago that no rookie had ever been the number 1 selling jersey ever. And our 2 rookies, Dak and Zeke, were number 1 and number 2.
Wow.
And no team has ever had number 1 and number 2 for the year total. And so we those 2 guys collectively set fantastic records. But yeah, to have someone 2 and 4, I also think because we had 3 big guys that you would think the fans would, obviously fan favorites with Tony Romo, Jason Witten, and Dez, all 3 sort of leaving at the same time. That created a little bit of a void as well. But we've seen some pickup and lots of new things. And one of the cool things we added on DallasCowboys.com, this is just a shameless plug, but we added the entire roster to our website. So literally, if you go to the jersey, if you go to custom jerseys, it'll drop down, and literally every guy on our roster, you can order their jersey, and that's sort of unprecedented. So, because we do get, we get calls from everyone all the time. And back when I first came in this business, and Nate, you were still around here. They only offered when we were first a Nike team in 1996. Even though we had Dion and Troy and Michael and Emmett, Nike actually came to me and said, "We're only going to offer 2 players. You can have Troy and Emmett. That's it." And we're like, "I'm sorry, that doesn't work for us. We've got we got a couple of the guys here that are really good." And they said, "Nope, that's just the way it's going to be." So it took us like a year to get a Dion jersey and any other player that we had with Michael or anything else. And so to have that evolution go between now, where you literally go to our site, drop it down, you get a Nike jersey with literally every guy on the roster. On top of that, 27 guys that have retired, which we have deals with Roger Staubach and Troy now that he's retired, Emmett and Michael and everybody. We have 27 guys under contract right now in our Legends program.
Now, and that leads right where we need to go. So how long would it take a Amari Cooper jersey to get up and going?
I already got the email this morning.
It's selling last night. I mean, we
walk us through that whole process. So like you obviously you hear rumblings that this might happen, and then once you hear, okay, this has happened, but it's not official, because we go through the same thing. It's not official. It's in the process. They've agreed to terms. Walk us through exactly like what happens, starting with kind of the rumors or you hearing rumblings, and how that whole process works.
Well, luckily, I'm a little privy to information that's sometimes more than a rumor, right? And so I'll get a phone call giving me a little bit of a heads up. And so I give my team sort of a heads up of, hey, we might have a roster change. And, of course, they all look at me like Scooby-Doo, like, what do you mean a roster change? And I said, well, that's just all I'm going to tell you right now, but I want you to be prepared. And the first time that really hit us hard, that was a shocker, was Terrell Owens. Is that he came so out of the blue and was such a monster player instantly that I think that first week we sold 80,000 jerseys. And that was incredible. No one had ever done that before.
No one had ever done that, Kurt, and I was actually on staff at that point.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So
first
because of Shannon, we managed to pull that off.
Nate, quit shaking your head.
But we're prepared for it. I mean, you sort of prepared for the good and the bad. You're prepared for, I would. The last 3 guys that have left us that have been big jerseys was a shock. Mm-hmm. I mean, we literally didn't know that was going to happen. Just Tony and Witten and Des. And so you would have never dreamed. And, of course, all of our retailers and all of our own stores have inventory there. And so that's a tough spot to be in when you have to say, okay, well, gosh, I really didn't know, and I didn't know. But when you have a new player come in, you'd like to get a little bit of warning, and even if it's just a couple of hours, it's enough to get it in process. And we've done it before. So to have the jersey prepped and ready to go, we already have the visual. All we really need to know is we just start pestering Mike McCord instantly about what's his number going to be. Mm-hmm. And if we don't have the number when it's time to go live, when it's actually we hear it and goes, then we will put a 00 up there and with his name and just say, by the time this ships tomorrow, we'll know what his number is.
You'll have the right number and all that stuff.
Right.
And how does the so you guys have your own print facility, right, where you can print these on your own?
We do.
And how does that process work? You crank them out and they go straight from the facility? Or?
I assure you, it's a lot more complicated than I'm going to make it sound right now, but it really does simply just go from our art department sends it down, makes sure the art's right, the screen gets set up, and really everyone's just waiting to go. And then once you hit the go button, you just start printing. We don't even know what size. We're just doing as many as we can. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of cool examples of that. Romo's probably our most fun story. When Tony went to Carolina as a starter for he went to Carolina for a starter the first time. He threw 5 touchdown passes. Mm-hmm. Neil Wiseman, another guy in our group, and Shannon, you were probably around then. We were discussing, I wonder how many jerseys we ought to make for Romo, because our starting quarterback had gone down. No one really knew much about Tony. We certainly didn't have any inside that he was going to be the kind of player he was, certainly not to go throw 5 touchdowns. And so we all decided we were going to build 3,000 jerseys. Since he was the quarterback of America's team, we were going to go ahead and build 3,000 up front.
Was that a bold number back then?
Bold. And he proceeded over the next 60 days to sell 370,000 jerseys. And so that's how smart we were. But it was a fun story. And to have the infrastructure that can go from selling maybe 7 Tony Romo jerseys in your lifetime, all sent to a small town in Illinois, to go from overnight to get orders for 370,000 and do it all before Christmas. And this happened basically on November 1st. So it was a testament to our group and our infrastructure that we're probably more prepared for hot market and for sudden, both good and bad things to go than any other team, because we don't rely on, and not that Nike's not a great partner, we just have the infrastructure to do ourselves. And so we sort of, and that's Jerry's MO on almost everything he does anyway, is I'd rather do it ourselves and do it great than rely on a third party.
We hope you don't get blindsided with demand for Hanging with the Boys merchandise.
It could just happen any moment.
I tell you this right here, man. And Mr. Bill, we're glad you came, and we're glad that losing Shannon didn't put a snag in your business.
It took us years to recover. It took us years to recover.
It seemed to really explode. Since
man.
you know? They've added USC, Texas.
I feel like I was holding them back a little bit.
We don't know why we still can't figure out why we have more viewers when he's not on than when he's on. We can't figure that out yet, but
I'm sure Louisiana is a big.
It's a huge market.
It's a huge market.
Now that we added his mother.
Yeah. Mama Gross calls in on Friday and picks games now.
Now that we added his
tripled
mother.
our audience.
That's the only reason.
And I'm
we keep
sure
it.
she's beating you guys too.
She's 500 right now. We'll see how she did this week. So
well, thanks for having me, guys.
yeah, man, I know you got to go. So before you get out of here, because we're going to get into this next segment. Before you leave, what are your thoughts on the Amari Cooper deal?
Well, look, I'll tell you this: when we traded 2 number ones for a wide receiver one time before, Joey Galloway. And Joey was on the sideline with me before the game, and he put his arm around me and he said, Bill, he said, what do you see in those stands? And I said, well, I'm not sure I understand the question. There's fans. And he goes, yeah, but they're not wearing number 84. And I said, well, what have you done yet? You know, I mean, I promise you, our fans will blow up if you blow up. Mm-hmm. And we call it the blue turf. If you live your life in the blue turf, as a wide receiver, you're going to be just fine. Right. You're going to sell a lot of jerseys. And he said, all right. And it just never worked out. Couldn't have been a nicer guy in the world than Joey Galloway. So I would say the same thing if Amari was sitting right here. I said, you've never been to a club that has this kind of infrastructure behind you. And if you're successful, we will make you even more successful. And off the field as far as jersey sales go. So we actually got a lot of orders last night. We were a little bit surprised, but pleasantly surprised, is that we see a lot of that's a fine.
$5.
We see almost every retailer's reacted and jumping on it.
Amari.
So they're going to tell them you're welcome. We're going to make them a lot of jerseys.
All right, so that one more thing, because you have the best stories in this organization. I love hearing Bill talk. Do you have a story that one of your favorite stories? Can be football related, can be merch related, whatever. Is there any story that comes to mind that you can tell us?
I do have one, and I'm going to have to use G-rating language because it involves Coach Parcells. But Coach Parcells used to do a lot of things. I think before Jason was here, he used to do a lot of inspirational T-shirt ideas and whatever for the guys. You know, he'd come up with something, and it was always inside the bubble. I never saw where these things went or anything like that. And so he grabbed me over at Valley Ranch one day and he says, listen, I've got this idea. And he told me the idea, whatever. And it was about 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. And he said, I want you to go to this. And I said, okay, fine. I'll have this for you tomorrow. And he looked at me and he said, tomorrow? He said, no, I need it tonight. And I said, you need me to go create a T-shirt for you that has no artwork and no anything. You want it tonight, and it's 2:00 in the afternoon. And he said, you know what, son? And he put his arm on me and sat me down. He said, you've got no pelts. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not from New York. I don't know what that means. And he said, you have no pelts. And I said, well, Coach, I'm really not following you. He said, listen, when the mountain men used to come off the mountains, they'd have a big mule. And you could tell how good a mountain man was by the size of the pelts on the mule. And you have no pelts. And I said, man, that is random. I'm from Arkansas, and that is random. And so I said, okay, fine. And so I left Valley Ranch. I called our guy, Bill Littleton, at that time. You remember Bill Shannon? He was our art creative. I told him exactly what I wanted. And then I called my assistant at that time was can't remember.
Lacey?
Lacey.
Yeah.
It was Lacey Copeland. And so I called Lacey and I said, I need you to go to Michael's studio right now and buy me 3 yards of fake fur. And then I need you to find me a toy horse from anywhere. I don't care. And I just hung up. And of course, so she's thinking I've completely lost it. I get back to the office. We get all the T-shirts done. Do it in I literally probably dropped about 4 or 5 people's accounts to make these dumb T-shirts for this guy in seconds. So anyway, I go down, I rush to the warehouse, get the stuff. I get back to our office, and she's got this big horse, and she's got all. I said, cut all that up into like 6-inch squares. So anyway, she cut all this fake fur up 6-inch squares. I put it on this toy horse. I wrapped it in string. I put it in the box with all the T-shirts, and I put a note on the front of the horse, and it said, "Forget you." And that's all it said on the note. So I put it in there. Box gets to Coach Parcells. It's at like seriously 4:30. I mean, it does this in like 2.5 hours. So anyway, I get it. No phone call. Nothing. So then the next day, I kind of forget about it. Then the next day about 11 a.m., I'm like, hang on, wait a second. I just said, forget you to the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That might not have been the smartest thing I've ever done.
I'm not kidding.
So I called, thanks, Coach. And so I called Laura Fryer, his secretary, and I said, Laura, did you get the box? And she is dying laughing. And she said, yeah, he got it. And I said, all right, is he mad? She goes, no, he made every coach come in there and look at this. And say, look what this little guy over here in merchandise did, whatever. Anyway, but he never called me. And I said, well, he's not going to call me. She goes, no, he'll never give you the satisfaction to let you know you got him. So the next game, we're playing Washington at home. I'm walking across the sideline. It's 3 or 4 hours. You know, it's pregame and hardly anyone's out there but Coach. I'm walking down and I hear him yell my name, Procus, like he does. He never said it right. He called me Procus, which lots of vowels were missing. Procus. And I looked over at him, and he just stood there and gave me the one-finger salute, and that's all he did. And I just walked off, and that was it. So that was my...
Never talked about it again.
Never to be discussed again. That was it. No more Coach Parcells.
That's great. Well, Bill, thank you so much.
Guys, thanks.
We're going to get into some Amari Cooper talk, and
Thanks,
we might talk a little bit about the Redskins game when we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized Intense Therapy lip balm and a Cowboys can cooler. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Hangin' with Cowboys.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Back, Hanging with the Boys.
Back.
Kurt,
Yes,
Nate,
sir.
Shannon, Douglas. sometimes.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
What?
I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. And Kurt, I don't want to hear your opinion.
Okay.
Doug, I'm talking to you and Kurt. Now, when we came in with that second opening, did Shannon do it right away?
Oh yeah, he sounded good. Had the energy level up. He's ready to roll.
He put on a clinic.
Yes, you did.
Sorry, it took me
Radio
2
gold.
tries to do it.
Next time
And you talk about going over to where we going tonight? Not Concrete Cowboy.
We'll be over at the Omni across the Tito's Plaza.
And he told me right at the lunch table, Nate, we got to make it exciting when we go over to the Omni.
Got to make it fun tonight.
We got to make it fun. Did he come do our show with? He's the host. Oh, well.
Pressure's on for tonight.
Oh, man. I get a redo tonight, at least. All right. I'll bring it tonight.
Yeah.
Kurt, what you bringing right now?
Underwear.
Yeah.
In football, often the quickest plays mixed with some good old-fashioned ingenuity are the key to winning.
Yes,
kind of
sir.
like Tommy John's horizontal quick draw fly. It's the most intuitive, simple, and speedy feature that other underwear brands just don't have. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
There you go. And just
I like that quick straw.
follow up on our conversation with Bill, just to give you the rankings. These are all merchandise, all licensed products sold from March 1st to August 31st. The top 10 rankings are Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Zeke, Aaron Rodgers, Saquon Barkley, Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Foles, Antonio Brown, and Odell Beckham Jr. Dak and Zeke have now occupied 2 of the top 4 spots on the last 6 top 50 player lists. It's amazing.
A lot of people don't
Power
know
of the
that.
Cowboys.
Power of the Cowboys.
Wow. Hey, but I'm telling you, man.
Tell us.
We behind on Amari, bro.
I know.
Much as I love Bill, much as I love his story.
Now who's bringing the energy down?
Right?
No, it ain't.
Before
if Amari ain't what's happening, you don't know
But it's
radio,
the way
Douglas.
it's the way you said it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nah, man. I put my head down because this man gave us such great
I know.
stories and great history. I'm like, bad timing on Shannon. Let's go.
I know. I scheduled him last week.
Doug, you don't know radio, Doug.
Hey,
I hear you trying to needle me.
Are those pancakes or cookies that you have over there? Look how big those cookies are.
Huge.
Oh,
Wonder
my
what you had
God.
going on over there.
Hey, man. Shannon told me
I had to eat
those cow patties.
Oh my
Dang,
goodness,
look
they
like
are. I got oats in them.
Doug, I can't needle. Doug will never fall for it when I go at it, man. Doug has been in radio. How long, Doug?
Oh, man. Since 1991.
He knows more radio than he forgot more radio than I know, and I still can't needle him in.
I know. Oh, I got a picture of one of those cookies up next to my head on my Instagram story.
Yeah, so look at it.
Yeah, Shannon _PG.
Yeah.
Shannon _PG. And Kurt, you now have an Instagram account.
I do.
What
but
is it?
DC Star Editor.
DC Star Editor. So
I
follow.
don't do much on Instagram.
Follow Kurt. Nate, you still don't have Instagram.
No, man. No,
but he's got 2 Twitter accounts.
Nah, hey, but check
least.
this out. Let's go, man.
Okay,
Amari, man. Come on.
All right, so we were on the plane yesterday coming back. We stayed an extra day, which we never do since I've been traveling. We've never done that. We've gone out a day early once to New York to go see the 9/11 memorial and spend an extra night. Spend an extra night after the D.C. game to go to the African American History Museum in D.C., which, by the way, was awesome. We didn't have near enough time. We get on the plane, we're flying back, and we had heard the night before the rumor mill had started about Amari Cooper, and it could be a possibility. We're probably 30 minutes from landing, and we hear that it's happened. It's not official, but the paperwork's been filed, blah, blah, blah. So we get off the plane, and I'm walking to my car, and I look to the left, and I see Coach Garrett talking to Bryce, and I'm like, oh, Bryce. No, not Bryce. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Your 2-snap guy.
You didn't look to the left.
2-snap guy. That's where he was, the left. He was to the left.
Yeah. Wow.
So then I figured Bryce had gotten cut, and then not only did he get cut, word comes out late last night that Amari took his number, his former teammate. And I'm like, oh, man, that's just not right. So my question to you guys, I have an opinion on this, but I want to get your opinions first. Is this a good deal for the Cowboys? Kurt? Uh-oh, Nate needs a pen. He needs to write his thoughts down so he doesn't forget. You need something to write on? Write on
Just
that.
on the back of this.
What are your initial thoughts on this thing? You've had some time to think about it. So.
I like it.
Okay.
Not just for this year, but even for the next couple of years going forward. I think they need a number one guy. There's obviously some red flags. It's been a couple of years. He got slowed up by injuries last year, and he's, up and down a little bit this year. But he had 200-yard games to his credit this year. Out of all the other receivers we've got on our team, Beasley was the only one that had a 100-yard game. He still brings that excitement. He brings that downfield threat. He brings that potential number one receiver that this team needs, not only this year, but going forward. So, the great Gil Brandt tweeted out that, there wasn't a where the Cowboys will likely pick this year. You assume it's going to be in the middle of the pack. There wasn't a wide receiver that was going to get that kind of first-round grade. So I think they got they've used that first-round pick to get their.
So you all do a great job with the magazine. I look forward to it every Wednesday when it arrives.
Thank you, Gil.
So you like it, and you're okay with them giving up next year's number one,
Yes.
even though it's going to wreck Broadus and Hellman's draft show next year.
They might be in dire straits, but I'm okay with it because I think they desperately need a good receiver, and people that know a lot better than me, I can't claim anything about the draft, but they are saying that there's no wide receiver that's going to grade high enough to draft, that high in the first round. So this guy fits the bill.
All right, we'll save the best for last because Nate's drawing pictures over there. Douglas, what do you think?
I like it, and I think it was an absolute necessity. I think that you can be a 500 team if Tony Romo's your quarterback and you're lighting it up with exciting football, but you cannot be a 500 team and be boring as this team has been all season on offense. The NFL is a television league. You got to be fun. You got to be exciting. And I just think that I don't think Jerry Jones can tolerate. This is me thinking that he was not tolerating the product that was out there. He wants more glitz out there. He wants a more entertaining product and had to do something to get it out there.
I think it's a good move for the offense, but I'm not okay with them giving up a number one pick because
No?
I don't think even with the addition. Now, I would love to see this team come out and this totally changes the offense and they're able to scheme different and this opens up. You put him on one side, you got Gallup on the other, you got Cole in the slot, and all of a sudden it opens Zeke up. But from what this team has done so far this year, I don't have faith that this puts them over the top and puts them into a playoff run. And if you're not playing for the championship, why risk your first-round pick next year and just totally give it up?
But I don't think I don't know if this is going to lead to a playoffs this year.
Then why make this move? If you're missing the playoffs anyway, just play the season out and keep your first-round pick.
Because they're not going to – they need a receiver. And they're not going to get it in the first round next year because there's not one great.
Then make a move in the offseason to trade with somebody or sign a free agent. I don't like this pick. If they honestly think that this is going to change all these things and you make a deep playoff run,
they wouldn't have done it.
Then great. Then I'm on board with it if you feel that way. But this to me is them saying we screwed up evaluating the talent in the offseason. We thought we could get by with these guys that we had. Now we realize we can't. We got to go get somebody. And if you're jeopardizing your draft next year, which they've done really good at drafting, I don't like it for that fact.
I still think next year you think they're going to draft somewhere like in the middle, 15, 20, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. They've got a fourth-round pick who's a two-time Pro Bowler who's only 24 years old. Some of these guys coming out next year.
What did he do last year?
He was injured last year.
What's he done this year?
He got 2 100-yard games.
He's ranked number 70.
He's playing for a terrible team.
He's ranked number 74 with Derek Carr throwing to him. He's a 74th ranked receiver in the league.
That's part of the hope is this helps Dak.
Okay. All right, Nate. You've been drawing pictures.
That was great. That was great dialogue, brother. Man, that's great dialogue, bro.
Thanks, man. Me and Kurt don't talk very much.
Man, y'all kind of went at it. Yeah. I like that great debate, man. But I'm telling you like this right here. This ain't about tomorrow. This ain't about the future. This is about right now. What are you willing to do to help number 4?
Number 4. Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to do before you totally lose number 4? I told you guys, I said, if this keep going down this road, Not only is our head coaches and offensive and defensive coordinators going to be questioned, number 4 is going to start questioning. Now you have lost 4 years where you could have just not even invested in this kid, and we could have dropped down, and then we could have had one of these guys here. We could have had either Mahomes or Baker.
Mm-hmm.
They saying, and I've heard Mr. Jones say this on our flagship station, his kid is good enough to do it. But this kid, unlike Wentz maybe, or unlike Baker Mayfield, this kid needs help because he's a co-star. He's not a star. He's a 4th-round pick. This move was invested in number 4. You either going to give him a chance to grow and develop and be the best he can, or you just say, okay, let's stand pat, let's see where we fall, and all of a sudden his confidence of 2 years ago is not here where it used to be. It's right here. What are you going to do as a coach? What are you going to do as a scout? And what are you going to do as a general manager to make sure that the person you saying is a great leader of men, this, and this, what are you going to do for him? Your offensive line almost fell off the map. Who's to say that we don't need more offensive linemen than we need a wide receiver next year? We don't know where this draft is going. But what are you going to do for the next 9 games to help this kid, number 4? And more importantly, this kid here is going to get beat up and not have a chance. And I'm talking about Zeke. He's not going to have a chance to excel.
You saw that this game, what they did to him.
So,
shut him down.
I agree with what you're saying is, hey, man, maybe it was a high price to pay, but also he asked you a question. What receiver right now, and we can call Broadus, what receiver right now that we going to get between 12, because if we win 2 more games, we're going to either be picking at 10 at the best, between 10 and 32. What receiver that's going to equal, and I don't know, I don't heard a variety of things on number 19, on Amari. I don't heard a variety, good and bad. But what guy we going to get? Because even Kevin Ridley, who we talked about a lot on this show, he wasn't even ranked as high as this kid. I don't know who this kid is. We all speculate, but this ain't geared for us. This is geared for number 4. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do for number 4?
So you're good. You're good with giving up the pick and
brother,
let's go.
What good is who? When do you start helping number 4? Okay, let me be a little bit negative. Well, he ain't a quarterback we thought he was. Well, he can't throw in tight windows. Well, he holding the ball. My question to anybody that said these 3 things, tell me what receiver that he got that he could feel confident that he can just throw the ball to a spot.
I mean,
he hadn't had a lot of help this year.
Yeah,
right?
I'm excited. I don't know yet if I 100% agree with giving up what you gave up, but I'm excited to see. I'm excited if they use this guy the right way. I'm not excited if they bring him in here and it's the same offense, but yeah. I'm excited to see, hey, was it just you were a receiver away? Does Dak start making those throws?
It ain't. No, it's not about being a receiver away. It's not about being a receiver away.
It's about not being able to score 20 points in games.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And what I was drawing up was this right here. This is what I was drawing up.
Put this on the air because this is
what I was drawing up. This is our starting lineup.
Okay, hang on. Let me zoom in on.
We don't know who the linemen. We know who our linemen are, but this is what we should look like against the Titans.
Yeah.
Don't you like that look better?
Yes.
And I got a Cole Beasley circle because he can go into the slot either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does that say after number 1?
It's not just.
It's number 13, Michael Gallup, Cole Beasley in the slot.
On either side.
You got your tight end, which our tight end is hurt. But you got the tight end that could be either side. You got Cole Beasley going over to the 19 side, which one thing that I can respect and appreciate is no season should be just thrown away. And if we're gonna throw away the season, That's you know, I like when you say they admitted that, you know what, this receiver by committee ain't working.
Right.
So you don't think Mr. Jones and Mr. Stephen Jones looking at Will McClay and looking at the head coach saying, okay, fellas, we can't throw this season away. The NFC East is a bunch of middling teams. What do we do here? Is it anybody? We've heard reports on Amari. Is it worth the number one? Because other teams was offering a 2. And they was like, nah, we ain't giving them up for a 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr.
The
Jones
Eagles were one of those teams.
Yeah. So they saying, well, you know what? We didn't, last year we criticized the Cowboys because the Eagles went out and signed this guy, and this guy. Okay, I don't care what the Eagles do. I care what the Cowboys do. If we keep our number one, we stay safe and we stay pat.
Yep.
And we stay losing.
It's the middle of the road.
You got to get on one side of the fence. And Mr. Jones made a decision along with his son, Mr. Stephen Jones, we're going to get on the other side of the fence. This might not work, but we have learned through past history not to give up 2 1s, not to give up a 1 and 2. That's why the deal didn't go through with the safety. If they could have gave up 1 pick, but they knew the Cowboys wanted them so bad, they're like, we'll take a second and some change. And the Cowboys like, wow, you ain't charging Kansas City a second and some change. You ain't charging this team. But they knew the Cowboys was hot for that safety. Well, they giving up a 1. Now, I will argue with you next year if we don't take a safety at a 1 or a 2. I would argue with you the way our offensive line looking in our depth, and it ain't no 100% sure that Franklin is coming back, Fredericks is coming back. I won't be arguing for offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what this kid can do. But you know what? The Cowboys showed me one thing. They trying to look out for number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they are forcing our guy, our offensive coordinator. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's going to put some pressure. Like you
Come on,
said,
man.
you hope that this has a domino effect where it opens Beasley up, it opens Zeke up, it opens the whole offense up. Now the pressure's
brother,
on
preach.
Linehan and
Preach,
Prescott.
man.
And that's what I'd be really interested in this whole dynamic. Was this ownership and management going, we got to make a move and go get a number 1 receiver to complement what we have? Or was this the coaching staff going in and standing on the table every day and going, we can't, this offense is not going to perform unless we get a number 1.
Juju Schuster, look him up.
And then my other question is, I don't have a problem with this move, but is this, if you're going to give up a number 1, is this the guy you should try to go after? A guy that had 2 really solid years, his first 2 years in the league, had the dropsies last year. I mean, he dropped balls when we played him. Didn't really perform a lot last year. I hadn't kept up with him this year, but like I said, he's ranked number 74 in the league this year.
You hope that last year he had an ankle injury, it kept him out of 2 games and bugged him.
Like, if you're going to give up a number 1, is this the guy, or should you have gone and tried to get
you hope. I mean,
somebody else?
Again, he's only 24 years old. He has 2,000-yard campaigns, 2 Pro Bowls.
Let me say this right here.
He has 2 100-yard games to his credit this year.
He'll play this year. Next year, he's slotted to make 13 mil.
It's like 750 this year or something like that.
Yeah, he'll make 13 mil like next year. Okay, here we go. We have no number 1 this coming draft, but we'll have him going into training camp. If he ain't what you want, if he don't show the rest of these 9 games and all of next year, okay, we back at the same deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yes, you are.
Well,
but
then you don't have a first-round pick. He's got to come through.
No, we back at the same deal, Kurt, because you telling me Frederick is coming back and he's going to be 100%.
Well, no, we don't know.
Okay, you telling me that I know this kid is going to be better next year, our left guard, I know that he's going to be better.
Right.
So he'll grow and start to get his man strength. But until you show me 100% that Frederick gonna be back, you still may be fighting for offensive lineman for a first round pick, because Tony Romo money comes off the books another year, Dez money comes off the book another year. So now you don't have to pay our quarterback, and you don't have to pay our running back. It's called franchise tag. So you still have a lot of money floating out there. Now, do you go get an offensive lineman that's out there and overpay him? Or do you go get a wide receiver that may be out there and overpay them? Because you're still going to come back to the same deal. It is so – our deal, we trying to solidify ourselves through the draft, fellas. Where's that taking you so far? 8-8,
under 500. Yeah.
And at wide receiver, the draft takes the longest to see the fruits of your pick.
Man,
it takes a long time to develop that wide receiver.
Cole Beasley, if this kid just come in and catch the ball, listen to me. If this kid just come in and catch the balls that are thrown to him, he's faster than all our receivers. He's better route runner naturally than all our receivers, every one of them. He can get in and out of breaks. He runs a multiple offense. Our offense ain't as complex as the one he's coming from. So the terminologies may change. If this kid just catch the ball, you're going to automatically have to give him some respect. Now, a lot of people saying, well, by this quarterback being who he is, they ain't going to double Amari. That's okay. Just catch the ball. He has the ability to run after the catch. Have we seen that around here lately?
No.
So a first-round pick a year ago, 2 years ago would have scared me to death. A first-round pick now,
Saints just got Eli Apple.
Yeah, brother, I saw that I saw that on the phone.
And I'm with you, Nate. But last year he had the dropsies last year, which is,
And that I'm with you, Shannon. You hear me?
He's got red flags.
If he just catch the balls that are thrown to him in his hand or in his radius,
you're immediately better. You're immediately
better,
way upgraded.
Yeah, so
I agree with you.
Yeah, Broadus has been saying he went into his lab and watched all the tape from last year and this year on Amari, and he thinks that the quarterback had a lot to do with the drops last year. He doesn't think that it was necessarily a hickey on Cooper's resume.
I just believe this here, man. If you wanna continue down the road we going down and say, okay, maybe next year we get a first-round receiver. And I'm with you. Maybe next year we get a first-round receiver that falls to us, at 10.
There wasn't any. So
at 10, I'm just saying at 10 or whatever. And all of a sudden we sitting here in the 7 games in and I'm thinking Michael Gallup going to be much better. Not only with Cooper coming, but I think he's just going to be much better because they're going to start feeding him the ball more. Mm-hmm. So I think he's the real deal. We don't know what he is as a number one or number two. We don't know what he is. But if they start throwing the ball to him more, but I'm telling you, I said it last night, and I'm believing this. It's all about number 4, and it's all about number 11. I'm telling you. If Dak can get to where he can look out at these other guys and feel that there's covered, and number 11 is single covered, or they're in a soft zone, the game is on, man.
Well, I'm over the sticker shock. I dealt with it for a day. There's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is.
But you know what?
He's on your team.
You're a true fan, and you're a true fan, and true fans always look. It's Christmas time twice a year for fans. It's the actual day of Christmas, and it's the NFL draft. And I'm just being honest. Mm-hmm. Because when they first said, I said, what we gave up for him? That's the first thing I asked. I asked, was he good or bad? What we gave up for him? Because even if he was worth a first-round pick, we'd have said, man, I don't know about that.
Right.
I mean, you messing up Christmas.
And Cowboys fans rightfully so, because you lived through Roy Williams. You lived through Joey Galloway. So you've been burned by this exact same scenario twice before. And it's like, here we go again.
Joey Galloway was more on Quincy than Joey, but yeah,
I'm excited. I mean, it is what you've already given up what he's on this team. You can't change it by saying I don't like the move.
Unless he failed a physical.
He's more exciting. He's more exciting than any 25th pick overall.
And you got 2.
Say the truth. He's more exciting than whatever we got on this team right now.
And you've got 2 weeks to get him involved in the game plan. Coming on the bye week, this is the best time to do
Brother,
this.
if he ain't starting,
if they Bryce Butler him now, we're gonna have
we got some issue, man, for real.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll wrap it up talking about more number 19 Amari Cooper on Hanging with the Boys.
You're like me and you love. I mean, if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract. Just
get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
OtterBox? The overprotected phone case company?
Yep, and they've got an essential tool for your next tailgate party. The bear-resistant venture cooler.
Now wait. In all my tailgating days, I've never seen bears tackling brats on the blacktop.
And you never will, because a venture cooler with a locking kit is basically bear repellent.
Can't wait to try it out at my next tailgate.
That's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Visit OtterBox.com to learn more about their certified bear-resistant venture coolers.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized Intense Therapy lip balm and a Cowboys can cooler. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
Now's a good time to tell you that SeatGeek is the new source of tickets for all your football needs this season. SeatGeek makes managing tickets easy, whether it's buying or transferring to a friend. They even tell you the best deals for every game based on their deal score technology, which rates every seat on historical data, price, and location. Download the SeatGeek app on your phone and take $20 off your first purchase using code DALLAS at checkout. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Back hanging with the boys. It's almost time to go. You know what? Tomorrow maybe we'll actually talk about the game.
Yeah,
What game?
You haven't had a chance to weigh in.
The Redskins game. More pressing news
Thank
today.
you for the paper, man.
Oh, you can have this back. I mean, it's a beautiful drawing.
Yeah.
You want to frame? Will you frame? Will you autograph
I
this?
done
and
drew
frame
it up
for
about
me?
6 times. I drew it up 2 or 3 times.
We should get you to sign this, and we could auction it off on the show to a lucky listener.
I'm gonna tell you something. The guys that I know that are good, I put their names down, and the other guys I just who I'm suspect. I either put a number.
1, 2, 3. There's 5 good guys.
No, I put their names down.
Oh, the rest of them got numbers or positions.
Positions.
I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. I just hope it's worth the first rounder. And if they make it in the playoffs and they make a run, I mean, the Rams and the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl anyway. So this is just a year that this is bad timing.
Man, let me tell you something, man. The playoffs is. If you look at this team, they've traded 2 years ago secondary. Doug brought me to this attention. 2 years ago, secondary, you changed the whole secondary.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago, this past year, you changed the whole receiving corps, and you're still in flux by bringing in a new guy. You don't even have nowhere near what the offensive line you thought you was going to have. And
we need to talk about that more tomorrow.
Yeah, and I try to be so positive, about that offensive line. Like my man, the center hasn't played bad, but he's not Frederick. The left guard hasn't played terrible, but he's not up to par yet. My right tackle, man, it's like he's taking a half a step back, and that shouldn't be.
Right.
That shouldn't be. And our left tackle is just not our left tackle. And whether it's injury or not, I would surely like to know if he's hurt. before I just sit up here and just, oh man, Tyron is going to putts, because something could be wrong with this kid. But they don't tell us until after the season. But then the season is wrecked by then.
Yeah.
And it don't change anything. But it'd be nice to know so we won't criticize the kid.
Yep.
True.
Well, tomorrow let's talk about the game. Let's talk more about Amari Cooper.
That's the life we've chosen.
Man, I can go on, man. I tell you what, man. Is them ladies coming in? Somebody else coming in?
they're knocking on the door.
We could do a 2-hour show today. We could probably do 3 hours today just on Amari Cooper. But we
Leave
can't.
it on Periscope, and y'all just go out in the hallway by the mannequins.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, speaking of mannequins.
What?
I'm just saying Doug trying to play us off as mannequins.
Oh. Well, tune in tonight, the happy hour, over at the Omni Resort out here in Frisco. If you have a chance, stop
and
by.
I sure hope Shannon brings thunder when he open the show.
We need happy fun.
I'll bring it, as long as Nate is more happy and not as mean football guy as he's been the last couple of weeks out there.
No, don't try that. Don't try that. No, not me. I just challenges those that are on the panel.
Me, Nick Broadus, and I believe Ambar will be on the show with us tonight. So it's a new time, 5 to 6. We had to move it up 30 minutes. And then you can stay tuned for Cowboys. Is it Cowboys Hour with Brad Sham and Taylor Stern after? I think they have the kickers on. Maher and Chris Jones.
Wow.
Yeah. Heck of a week to be getting that into that conversation. So too bad LP's not on there with
the
us.
African American Museum.
Yeah. Really cool place, by the way. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit of that tomorrow.
Did y'all go in the basement?
We did.
Yeah.
Have you been?
I've been.
Oh,
I've been.
That's some deep. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. They seem to have left a lot out of my American history books.
Oh yeah, I tell people, if you want true American history, do not go in the basement of that place.
It'll make you question.
Yeah, it'll make you question your forefathers.
Yes,
especially if you're taught history in the South.
Yeah, and society. I think I got one chapter of what.
Don't do it. Do not put that on Instagram.
You know what? Let's talk about that some more tomorrow, too. All right, Kurt, thanks for showing up. Nate, thanks for bringing it.
Hey, Bill, thank you, Bill. Really.
Yeah, Bill Parcells,
thank you.
Thank you. Super shout out to you. We need to get you on again.
I need to get some of your money.
Yes,
Bill.
Yes, President Parcells.
Yeah.
Douglas, thank you for doing what you do.
I love you, Bill.
Kent, thanks for doing what you do.
I need some of your money, Bill.
We will be back tomorrow.
We'll be back at you, Bill.
Hey, with the boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!